Thank you very much for having me.
Don't thank me yet.
You have the right to remain silent.
Yeah, I just saw you expired.
Because it's in a TV. Do you have a single fact to back that up?
You know, this is the one where
Think you're funny?
You understand me?
I think you need to go get a dictionary.
Oh, thank you for joining me. We're all set up there. Very nice. Oh, you got your shades rolling. Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked wearing these last time, so I decided to wear them again.
Oh, now you completely adjusted how you're oh wait, you're settling in. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, these glasses are fun. I wanted to wear a different color this time. And then like watch these podcasts back and to see if it
Affects
if
you.
my mood is different, if they actually really.
You really think it's going to be that big of a?
Because some
change on
say
your
more
mood?
energetic, some say they relax you more,
Right.
some say they give you I don't know, more of a whimsy fucking feeling.
Do you feel
There's all kinds
whimsy?
of weird things that I'm sure they just pulled this stuff out of their.
Do you feel angelical?
I don't know what that means entirely. Is that like magical?
Yeah,
Sparkly?
like angel, like angelical, like. Do you feel
that makes sense.
otherworldly?
Angel-y?
Yeah.
No. I mean, I feel good.
Well, it really defeats the purpose of having.
I feel
that thing.
good, but I don't feel like I'm in another world.
Right.
But these glasses kind of get you there.
Gotcha.
It's a small step in that direction. You got to wear them for a long period of time before it gets there. They do something. They do something cool. I don't know if it's like if any one of those things on the card, if it actually does what it claims to on any of them.
Right.
They might all just be bullshit, but it's fun. It's whatever.
And this is not a sponsored segment for colored glasses.
Mhm.
But if you want any, check them out on Amazon. What did they came in like a 10-pack or something stupid? Or
Yeah, something
what'd you say it
stupid like
was?
that.
It was like $12 for like 18 glasses.
No, it was 10. It was like $100 for 10 glasses. So it's
$100?
for 10. So it's $10 of glasses. And you get all the colors, and you get to every day. Stonks. They're called Purple Canyon, I think, because it says that on the side.
Right by the Made in China.
Manufactured by Purple Canyon.
What? Where's Purple Canyon?
Okay, so maybe that's not the
China.
actual name of the sunglasses themselves. That's just like
It's the company that.
that's
does
just
it.
like the slaves that are making them.
Right. Wow, it's harsh.
Oh, that's probably
But
true.
Yeah, I'm not saying you're wrong. So this is the second
After Dark.
After Dark episode
Roman
where
numeral 2.
we have not watched a movie, and we're just gonna blab on about whatever topic we can come up with.
Did you watch any movies lately? Did we watch anything separately? Or a show?
I watched
or...
all the Harry Potter movies again because Kim's getting ready to go to Harry Potter.
You already
land.
got through all those?
Yeah.
Jesus, that didn't take long.
Yeah.
They still as good as you remember?
Yeah, I mean, they so they fall into this weird, I guess I'll just talk about it. So my opinion on the Harry Potter movies, and this will not be a super popular one because it's like, oh, Harry Potter's the same, it's so special. But
Daniel Radcliffe is so adorable.
So they fall into this world where I think the attempt was like, let's make a kid's version of Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
But it just turned out as like a shitty Star Wars movie. And I know that sounds terrible. Not all the movies. I think if they would have had the budgets and like the dark and grittiness of like, I guess it was the last two, which is the 7th and 8th movie, but they call it Deathly Hallows Part 1 and Part 2, so it's 7 and 7.
Oh, they cashed in on that
7.
Part 1, Part 2 business.
So if they had that same like tenacity throughout the entire series, I think it would be pretty cool. Like the story is interesting. But I even saw like a quote, it was like a meme that basically was just like, you guys do realize that Harry Potter is just like the ultimate version of Star Wars. And everybody's like, oh no, it's not. And it's like, okay, an orphan kid raised by his uncle and aunt, is taken under a wing by a white-haired wizard and then told that, this evil entity in this universe, so to say, is like like it's his kin of some sort that he has to then defeat. And it's like the parallels are there. But I enjoy the movies just because they're pretty fun. Some of it's very convenient, like storytelling,
Yeah.
But the one thing I guess I don't love about it overall is there's this giant um story arc over top of everything, and that is Harry Potter being linked to Voldemort, and Voldemort killed Harry Potter's parents, and there's just like a big background. But like every movie has such like a specific thing he's doing in that movie that he needs to do to then carry over, like to keep the arc going.
Oh, yeah.
That it's just kind of like
yeah,
sometimes, because then it just gets hyper repetitive. Like, oh, well, in this year at Hogwarts, he's gonna defeat another monster or come up with something crazy that then is gonna get him one step closer, and it just gets very repetitive in that sense. There are like some cool aspects to it. I think like two of my favorite characters out of the whole thing are Snape and Voldemort, just because of what's his name, Alan Rickman, and I don't remember who plays Snape off the top of my or Voldemort off the top of my head.
Ralph.
Yes.
Fiennes.
Yeah.
How you say that?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, FIE something. Whatever the fuck. Who cares?
Their like ability to pull like a character out of themselves is so fun. Yeah. Like just so it's so awesome. Like in the scenes that they are in, it's just like pure acting. It's just so beautiful to watch. And that's like my favorite part about the whole thing. Like I could almost not watch like the first 4 or 5 movies except for the parts where like Snape walks into the classroom and is like Ron Weasley, or like he's like smacking them in the back of the head, or he does all these like ridiculously like stiff like turns where like he's like someone's talking and then he's just like
yeah,
and he like just stone cold face, and it's just ridiculous to watch. It's just that part about it is so much fun.
Yeah.
The whole story in general gets a little tedious by the end when you're just like, all right, Harry, kill Voldemort. Everything's convenient.
Is it just so tacked on with Voldemort? And by the way, I've only seen the first 2 movies, and it was like during the day when I was really distracted at the same time.
Right.
So, but is the whole Voldemort killing the parents of Harry Potter? Is that what happened?
Yeah. So
does that feel like really tacked on?
Well, that
because it's always got to be like the big baddie responsible. Like
you basically find that out within, it feels like, seconds of the first movie starting. Okay. It's just like there's a special he's a special kid, obviously.
I'd rather it be that than to be revealed as this big secret at the end, like, you had no idea he killed your parents, like as a way of putting the audience in shock.
So they did that, like, I would say half decent, where you knew about that the entire time, but like different aspects of him killing them trickled out through all of the films, like the reason why Harry didn't die, or why he was after his parents weren't 100% spelled out in like the first couple movies. So there's like little tidbits of info that you're given throughout the movie, so it's not just like a full on, this is why he went after your parents, and this is why you didn't die, and this is how you need to kill him. So like all that stuff is kind of scattered throughout correctly, and some of it's a little convenient, but like Harry literally didn't die because his mother threw herself in front of Voldemort's like kill spell
all dramatically.
Yeah, and it was like her love reflected the magic and then basically shot back at like Voldemort, but then he basically placed the Horcrux on Harry Potter, and a Horcrux is like an item that
A Horcrux?
a Horcrux.
Oh, he didn't put that on the mom?
Well, the mom was dead then.
Oh, and then he didn't call her a Horcrux?
No. So a Horcrux is like an item that you can store like part of your soul in, so that if your physical body dies, you don't die. Like you can always kind of come back. And that's what the lightning bolt on Harry is. It's a sign of a Horcrux, because and Voldemort didn't mean that intentionally, but he had also had other blah 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 blah. So yeah, I mean,
yeah,
the movies are fun in a very specific aspect. If you want something that's gonna like carry you, and like, I think so. Like, to me, Lord of the Rings to me will always just like, I watch it, I buy it. Yes, like looking back at it now, some of the effects are like, okay, yeah, it kind of takes me out just because they were doing their best back then. But like, I can just like let myself sink into that world. It's so well done.
Yeah.
Hobbit is a different story, but like when you hop into the Harry Potter world, I believe it to a certain extent. It's just, yeah. And it may be because I was like, I didn't hop on the board like when I was younger, hop on board that train when I was younger, like a lot of people did. I hopped on like Star Wars or Lord of the Rings. Somehow I bypassed Harry Potter. I don't know.
Right. There's just so many movies out there today. Like someone tells you about like, oh, I saw this movie, or hey, you never saw this in your childhood, or you missed this one, or you got to try this show or whatever. And it's like, oh yeah, I should watch that. I should try that. And you legitimately mean it, or
like,
at least I do.
Never ever gonna get
like when I tell people, like if someone tells me, I'm like, yeah, that's sounds cool. Maybe I try like Harry Potter.
Right.
Like I didn't give a fuck all my life.
Right.
But like Alan Rickman being a big part of it, like I would,
he's so cool.
Would be like a big reason why I would give it a try again. Right. I mean, but when the fuck am I gonna like fit it in there? It's like such a huge commitment. It's like 8 movies and then a part 2.
And everything else we're doing, where is that coming from?
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe if
like, hold on, guys, let's sit down. Let's take a break from work and watch Harry Potter. Probably not.
Imagine if that was some form of like your eternity. We'll have to make this into a would you rather question.
Oh boy. Here we go. Here comes the real topic.
So, would you rather, when you die, you get put into some kind of server, like your consciousness,
like computer server?
Yeah. And all you have to do is basically sit there and watch every movie ever made in history strung together, and you have to do that forever. When you get to the end, it just loops and they all play again.
I would assume that would last a while.
Yeah, it's eternity, so it just goes and figure eights round and round and eternity.
Round. Or what?
Or just walking around some fucking place somewhere.
You're gonna have to come up with something.
I don't know. This is tough. I can't think of anything. See, I just thought it was like a crazy way to spend eternity.
So it's either watching literally all movies ever, even like ones that are continuously being made,
listening to all music. I was thinking way too hard about the other part. Music in a loop for eternity, or watch movies in a loop for eternity. And even if it's a bad movie or a bad song, you have to put up with it. That's tough shit.
So
you're gonna have to listen to all the Justin Bieber and all the Lady Gaga, and all the Blake Shelton, whether you love it or not, you hate it, doesn't matter.
So I think I would have to choose movies then, because that's like a twofer. Because in certain movies there are a lot of songs. So if I had the choice, like if my eyes aren't forcibly being held open for eternity, I could kind of like close my eyes and just listen to the good stuff. So in that sense, I think I would do movies for eternity.
I guess it's a really bad comparison because Well, I don't know. Maybe
because
some people would say music.
well,
You don't get the visual with that though, unless it was one
right,
of those things on YouTube where it just played that. We'll give you that.
the
Y-
kaleidoscope
y-
thing.
yeah, with the different colors and the
Right.
mesmerizing.
Well,
You can have that,
I think
or the music videos. You can have
I,
those too.
well, I think the movies would be easier to bear through like the bad stuff because you could like it, no offense to Steven Seagal, but like even bad movies you can find like joy in. You know
Mhm.
what I mean?
Oh, I
To
would
some
love to get a
extent.
Steven. That would be like a relief period if you
Yeah.
got a Steven Seagal movie.
Yeah. So it's like maybe you have like 5 bad movies in a row or something, but there's going to be one movie that you can enjoy just for like, it could take the pain away for a couple movies.
What if it was instead of movies? What if it was all YouTube videos?
Uh that might be more entertaining than movies.
Might be really
Honestly,
fucking boring too.
I don't know. There's a lot of crazy YouTube stuff.
It would be there would be times of exciting and times of boring.
Oh yeah. I mean, it would be the same with any content, I think, because you're gonna go
You'd
through
get
phases of just like, oh no.
What if it was TikTok videos, just endless, or Vines, just
I mean,
endlessly
I
on a
spent
loop,
a ton of time on Vine and spend a few hours on TikTok, unfortunately.
endlessly,
Eh,
forever and ever.
I get lost in it now, so I definitely could see myself just not coming out of it.
I want to stay here forever.
Well, when you like hop on YouTube and then you go through like 3 4 videos and then you're like, oh no, I just spent 4 hours watching YouTube. Like
Mhm.
that's how Vine and TikTok are for me, because it's very like small, clips. Like Vine was 6 seconds. Like you go through 50 videos and you don't even think about it, and you're
Mhm.
like, oh my god, it's 3:30 in the morning.
Right.
You know, um, and that's the way Vine is for me. So if like if someone was like, you have to watch Vine and TikToks for eternity, I'd be like, okay, whatever. I mean, at some point you're gonna get tired of whatever you're doing if it's the same thing, but at least the content is like semi different.
Yeah.
It's not just like one genre of thing, I guess.
If it was like Kitchen Nightmares or something, that would be really cool for a little while.
Oh
But
yeah,
then,
I mean that's the cool thing about like TikTok is you stumble upon that type of stuff. So it's like you'll have everything from like some little kid trying to figure out like a dance to a song, to then like the next video is Gordon Ramsay like yelling at some chick, a clip from Hell's Kitchen or whatever, and it's like, man, this is pretty entertaining.
yeah,
Entertaining.
Hell's Kitchen is great, dude. I love that show. It's
Yeah.
like it's always running on like the cable channel on the TV, the source,
Yeah.
the input or whatever.
Right.
If it ends up on
One of those free
on the
channels.
cable because I turned something off and it pops up with Kitchen Nightmares, I might
Yeah.
just sit back and be like, okay, let's do this.
Yeah.
Let's do Kitchen Nightmares.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like these people like fucking up this business, and he
Yeah.
just comes in there and it's like, let me show you why you're
Oh
retarded.
my god.
Yeah.
I'll never forget some of those I watched were just like gruesome. Like there are restaurants around here that he'd lose his mind on.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like some guy, I remember this one. He like walks back into like the big refrigerator, like frozen, freezer thing, and there's just like an open bucket of like pasta that the guy made like 2 weeks ago, and he's like, like, what is this? And he's like, oh, it's good. It's like it's an open bucket. Like you can't serve this. And he like looks down and there's just like lettuce on the like a head of lettuce on the floor that's been like stepped on twice. And he's like, oh god,
Yeah. Picks up the 2 pieces of bread. What are you? An idiot sandwich. Correct.
Yeah, it's a good show.
Yeah, it's good to circle back to from
He's
time to time.
hilarious.
He's the man, dude. He's like, it's just like what a perfect, unique niche. Just this pissed off chef, just coming in there. Like I haven't watched the Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah.
Maybe that's cool too. I just never watched it. But Kitchen Nightmares, Yeah,
I mean, it's just the same thing, except it's like more of a competition.
yeah,
You know.
yeah. But it's like it is so much the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like, but it's so addicting to watch.
Oh yeah. So
I don't know what it is. Just him tearing into people that are doing like a horrible job.
have you watched any movies lately? Since I spat on about Harry Potter.
Yeah, I watched this one called "The People Under the Stairs," and
How'd that treat you?
oh well, the first 20 minutes I thought
Oh God.
I'm into this. This is cool.
Yeah.
I'll try to describe it
I was
without
gonna say,
butchering
what's
it
the
too much.
what's the premise?
So it's about this couple. They're like super right wing, like crazy
Oh
religious
yeah.
nutbags.
And then the liberal golem they keep under the stairs.
Well, they keep people like
Yeah, of course
kids.
they do.
They keep like kids hidden in their walls
And what is it
and
called?
in their basement. The people under the stairs.
Okay.
So
it's
they own like
literal.
this couple. They're like this crazy couple, and they kidnap people
Yeah.
and they keep them in the walls of their house and in the basement.
That's the only thing that makes sense.
And the first 20 minutes of the movie was cool because like it kind of built it up, and there was this one part in this room where the one daughter that lived in the house, like
Yeah.
she was treated like shit and abused and stuff, but she just had to like put up with her parents or whatever. But
Right.
she would give food to the people in the walls.
So that was like their actual daughter.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Could have had cooler parents, but
Could always be
poor
worse.
her. But she was passing some bread to this person that came out of the wall, and all you saw was their hand, and their hand was all like white and
Yeah.
like hadn't seen any sunlight and was all like long fingernails. It was like creepy,
Yeah.
and you didn't see like what they were.
Yeah.
But then once you got past that 20-minute mark, it started to get real cartoony. There was like a kid actor in it that it was Ving Rhames, you know, Ving Rhames. He's like the big black guy. He was in Dawn of the Dead remake, the cop with the shotgun.
Yeah. Okay.
It was him and his son were breaking into that house, into that mansion, because they heard there was some gold kept there or
Right.
something. And
Convenient plot line to get discoveries going.
yeah. So they end up in this house, and Ving Rhames gets killed by one of the parents, I think. Yeah. Sorry, spoilers, but don't watch it anyway. So I mean, you might like it. Give it a shot. Get 20 minutes in, give it that, and then give it another 10 minutes and see if you don't check out.
Realize how
but
weird it is.
Maybe some people like it. I just thought it got really fucking cartoony at that point because Ving Rhames gets killed, and then the kid becomes like the center of the show, and he just was like a fucking horrible actor. This kid.
Wait a sec. His son?
Yeah.
Becomes
his son. Once Ving Rhames, the father, dies.
So dad and son attempt to break into the house, and then dad dies, and then the son becomes the main character.
And then the parents just get even more cartoony. They're like skipping around the house. Just act well. Okay, let me actually say this: the best part of the movie was
Folgers
the wife.
Okay.
So it's a crazy couple. The wife, she was like amazing.
Like actor.
Yeah, the actress was incredible. The dude, I actually really like that actor, but he was like, it was just such a cartoony, and it was just like a different time.
Yeah.
So
are you talking about the dad or the son?
The crazy couple.
Yeah.
The
wife was cool.
The wife was
good actor.
She was the best part of the movie. Okay. And her husband, which was the other crazy guy,
right?
He was just like really fucking cartoony and throughout the whole movie. But the biggest problem was the kid and the acting and these lines that I guess they thought sounded good when they wrote them, and then the kid would deliver them,
right?
And it was just like, God, Jesus.
And it was very kiddish.
It was very dumb. It was very like flat. It was horrible. It was dumb.
There's something.
It didn't work.
There's something about
and the whole movie got like that. Oh, and also, once you saw the people that were hidden in the walls and in the basement and everything, like that were presented like built up really creepily and everything. And
Right.
there's this one that like ends up helping him, and he's just like he's like running around like he's got like, and he's just like
What, the person in the wall?
yeah, one of the people in the wall ends up like helping the kid
Yeah.
and the daughter. They all like group together to fight back against the parents, and the whole movie just becomes this big fucking chase through the house. The parents herping and derping, running around. They got like this dog with them, like their attack dog.
Yeah.
And the whole movie, after that 20 minutes, the whole movie is just these parents chasing these fucking kids around with this goofy ass guy that came out of the wall.
So what is,
And it wasn't
what's his
scary at
deal?
all
It was
anymore.
just I've I've been in a wall for too long, so now I'm crazy.
It just didn't work when you saw the hand come out of the wall
Yeah.
and it was all dead looking and grab the bread.
Yeah.
It was like done really well. That's
Right.
why I was like so into this movie
Yeah.
because it was building everything up really.
Right.
Well, I shouldn't like suck its dick too hard. It did a good job building it up, and I was like on board, and I was liking it. And the hand thing was like really creepy, and I was like, this
Right.
concept is interesting. They kidnap these people like from birth or whatever, and they just keep them in the walls,
Yeah.
or or maybe it was their children. I think that's what it was. It was all their kids.
What?
I need to stop calling them all these different things. The crazy religious couple.
Right.
They would have kids and then
them in a
would
wall?
never let them leave the house. They would just keep them in the house
Oh.
their whole lives. And
Wait,
put
who's
them
in
in
the
the-
walls then?
the
kids?
kids.
Oh.
They would put them in the basement.
I had this weird image of like literally their walls are lined with people just like
Well,
shoved in there.
What
like, oh,
happened
no.
was, I think, is they would put them in the basement and just lock the door and just keep them down there and throw
Right.
scraps to them from time to time.
Right.
And over time, they like dug their way along, like somehow into the walls. And so like they were all over the walls of the house, but they couldn't like get through the walls. I guess they like reinforced them so they couldn't.
Right.
So there was no way they could get inside the house.
So it's just this weird like now they're crawling over everything.
Yeah. And it was creepy at first, but once one of the people, you saw them in full daylight and the camera was like all up in their face and everything, it just wasn't scary or creepy at all anymore. He just looked like a kid dressed up for Halloween or something. And then there was just all this cartoony shit.
And how
whole
many
time.
was it? How many like people were in these walls?
It was like looked like a couple dozen.
Like they had that many kids and then they were just like stay.
If it was all their kids, I don't remember that part.
That's
But-
pretty creepy. But that does bring up a good topic. And this goes back to something me and you talk about occasionally, at least when we're talking about like an idea or just a film in general. The moment that you give all of the information visually to someone is the moment like you lose control of like the viewer,
Right.
which this movie sounds like a perfect example of that, where you know, you don't see anything, it's very mysterious, and then some guy pops out of the wall and you're like, oh, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just takes all of like, it takes like the breath out of the room, or or like maybe it gives the breath back to the room, so to say.
Right.
Because up until the reveal, it's like, oh my gosh, like what is this, what's going on? And then once the reveal happens, you can't get that back.
Right.
That's what's so like having or controlling that visual or that information to the viewer is like so crucial, because once you hand it over, unless you have something else in the wing to throw a curveball or another thing that you can hide, it's like it's pretty much over.
Yeah. I ended up making it through the whole movie.
Well, and doing that 20 minutes in is pretty,
Yeah.
Even if it was like an hour and a half long, if you start to reveal things 30 minutes into the movie, it really starts to take away some.
Yeah, and it just became a chase fest all around the house.
Right.
I was like, how many times? And they would like be crawling through the vents or some part of the house, and just like letting their dog
became
chase them
Die Hard.
around. It just became this thing of running from their dog. I was like, this has got to stop. And then the kids.
So what did the
saying
parents
dumb
do
stuff.
then? They were just like chilling on the couch, like,
Oh no,
Rufus will get them.
No, they were running around the house trying to find out which part of the house or the walls they were in, because then they got under
Right.
the house and were crawling through the walls too.
The parents were?
No,
Is that what you
the
mean?
daughter, the son, and the
yeah. Okay. Sorry.
and the crazy
Because
dude.
I didn't see this, I'm trying to keep the characters straight.
Yeah, I can barely keep it straight. I know I watched something else too, but it like I watched other movies that I had seen before, but I thought I watched something I hadn't seen before besides that, but I cannot think what the hell
Well, I cannot help you
it
with
is. I hate that. I guess it wasn't very memorable. Or maybe I don't know. I watched the Wall Street movies again. I watched Wall Street
Of course you did.
and The Wolf of Wall Street.
Of course you did.
Yeah,
Because
because we're
the
in full
timing,
stock mode right
the
now.
timing is 100%.
Yeah, full stock mode.
I want to advocate Bitcoin to everyone out there. I really think, legitimately,
This is sponsored to you by Bitcoin.
this Bitcoin, if you're listening, you can sponsor this podcast.
Who is the king of
Please.
Bitcoin?
All we're asking is for 2 Bitcoins, one for each of us.
That's a
I think that's it.
that's a $48,000 Bitcoin.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because the
No, still
views
send
that
it
this
to us.
gets and the backing that Bitcoin will get from us is invaluable. No,
I'm
seriously,
sure somebody out there would be generous. enough.
seriously though, I really think like we've talked before a little bit about the stocks, like neither one of us are professionals or magicians in a stock
Yeah,
market.
don't take our fucking advice. We're gonna
But-
talk about it probably, maybe, but that doesn't mean like do what we do necessarily.
But
Take it for what it's worth,
Bitcoin,
which it ain't much.
I would just say, like, if you have $20 a month to put into Bitcoin, do it. Because if there's just like one thing that has been happening, it is just like the crazy fireball that is Bitcoin just does not stop or
Right.
has not stopped. And it's like, what's the worst case scenario? Like you lose your $20, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, so you didn't go to
If
McDonald's.
you can walk into a casino and put $20 on
Right.
a blackjack table, lose it, and still live your life,
Right.
and well, then you can put $20 on
Right.
a Bitcoin.
Yeah. And
you should.
people that spend tons of money on like lottery tickets and stuff. I think it was Mark Cuban. I read a statement that he said, and he said something to the effect of like, one of the stupidest things you can do in life is buy lottery tickets. There's absolutely no worth in them, and the amount of money that you will spend, obviously some people break that mold.
Right.
But like the amount of people buying, obviously, versus the ones who are going to actually get it. I mean, you can look at on the back of the lottery ticket and see what that number is. It's ridiculous. And his whole thing was, if you would put that money into like the stock market or like something guaranteed, kind of like we were talking about the other day, something that's going to be around forever, or Bitcoin, just put something into something is going to grow. I mean, can you imagine putting Bitcoin in when it was like, back in the early days, like when I've
When you
told
got
you
that
this,
email.
I got an email asking to invest in Bitcoin, never did it because I was like, that's not going to do anything. And then like you can look back on some of the graphs in the stock market, and it's like $4,000.
Mhm.
Can you imagine someone who put $4,000? Well, right now it's valued at like 48,000. You made some good money. Like, yeah, sure, it took a couple years, but that's more guaranteed than spending $100, $200 a month on lottery tickets. I've seen people spend like $50, $60, $100 a week on lottery tickets. Like they go right from work, they got their paycheck, 2 sheets to 7-Eleven to the gas station, and they're like, here's my way out.
I think a lot of people, they sit there and they actually like They look at what their paycheck is each week and they say, okay, I'm going to put this much money aside every week
Yep.
to go for it. And one of these days
Yeah.
that I go into that sheets to get those lottery tickets,
Yeah.
one of them's going to be a winner.
7-Eleven.
Like eventually I'll get there.
Right.
Even if it takes me 10 years, if I do it every single day, eventually
Right.
I'll scratch and it'll be worth $1 million.
Right.
So I guess some people have that mindset.
Yeah. And I'm not saying lottery tickets are like the worst thing you could ever do, but if you like to gamble just generally, then you would love investing, because it's as simple as, I like this stock, or I like to
Yeah.
invest in this. Let's take a shot at it.
Right.
And if that company makes money, you literally make money.
Right.
Right. And
yeah, scratch off
it's just
ticket.
fun.
That just takes a minute.
Yeah.
But the stock market, it's
Yeah.
the Ferris wheel. It keeps
And
on going.
listen,
the party never ends.
Who doesn't love losing $500? Or I think we were close to 1,000 at one point
I
today.
lost 1,000 of my personal dollars
Right.
today, and 1,000 in the business. So it was a great day in the stock market.
But
it's all good.
Who doesn't love losing money and then the next day making money?
Yeah, you can't
Right.
get all fucking emotional about it. If you lose money, it's going to happen. You are going to lose a lot of money.
Yeah.
But you hold, and if things continue on the trend collectively, generally speaking, as they have since the beginning of the establishment of businesses in this country,
as long as you have
it goes up over time.
tiny bit of knowledge on how, it's like even one of the stocks today, on one of the platforms that I use for trading, got suspended because someone sold, I think it was like 1.9 million shares or dollars worth of shares. I don't remember what it was, but they froze trading and people lost their mind over it. And it's just like, guys, and one person even said, like, this is how people are manipulated to sell. As long as you know what you're doing, you know not to sell.
Mhm.
At this point, you buy more, if anything, because the price is going to drop. Because when something like that happens and there's like a significant dip, the trend is still up. You just have to be okay with that dip, because you're not losing money unless you sell.
Yeah.
The only time you lose money is when you're like, I'm out, and
Right.
pull out. Well, yeah, of course you're going to lose money. But if you hold and that uptrend continues,
yeah,
then
my advice would be stop looking at the dollar amount and look
Right.
at your share number,
right,
and then look at the graph,
right.
and look at other graphs that are similar to it, and how
Look at all the graphs.
and how they tend to go up after they're down.
Right.
So chill the fuck out. God. And buy when it's low.
We act like we have so many friends that just scream. It's just comments on like Reddit and stuff that I'll look at.
Yeah, man. If that fucker goes down, don't panic. Buy more of it.
Right.
I mean, if it's a smart investment and you've done a little bit of homework, or you like are feeling good about that one.
Right.
If you imagine the future a certain way and you're like, I think this company is. I mean, people, you can give yourselves a little bit of credit, like if there's people are into companies and there's a lot of information out there. There's like fun YouTube videos you can watch about them. Like, a lot about the companies you love already, but
Right.
so it's fun to investigate even more.
Right.
And if you imagine that company doing great, like sit there and imagine what's the future going to look like.
Right.
And if you see that company thriving in it, look up at what they're doing.
Yeah.
And what their money is like.
Like I think I told you this the other day too. It's I think it was Mark Cuban again said something like, if you don't know where to start with investing, and it goes the same lines that you just said. He was like, pick a company that you know, you like, and you believe in, and put money into it.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as you can like check those boxes off of, I like this company, I believe in it, I think it's going to grow. As long as you can check those boxes off, don't sell.
Yeah. Start
don't
with
sell.
Start with
at
what
all.
you like.
Yeah.
The rest will come later naturally. If you like doing it and you're into it and you find you're into investing, just start with something you like and start small.
Right.
You might get addicted really fast.
Yeah. And I think the most fun part about it is like the uncertainty But then when things do go your way, it's like, wow, I see the potential here. And if you would sell to then take like a profit, uh that feels pretty cool. You know, just being able to be like, okay, I made money here, let's put it back in over here, or I'm losing money here, so let me sell these and take a small loss so I can invest in here and I gain my money plus. You know, it's like having that manipulation. It's like you said, he's like Matt said the other day, he's like, you know, my money sitting in a savings account isn't doing anything for me, so why not invest some, you know? And I'm not saying like take your entire savings and
Right.
because some people did that with GameStop.
The thing with like just leaving your money in an account that's not gaining it hardly any interest is over time the dollar's going to depreciate.
Right.
And imagine that graph going down, but if you're investing, it has the chance to go
Right.
up.
You're forcing an opportunity.
You're already fighting against the depreciation line anyway, so
right.
At least the stock market can help combat that.
Yeah.
And you might score big on something, but do your fucking homework, I guess.
I mean, that's the Alchemy Point Stonks segment.
But yeah, that sundial today with those marijuana stalks.
Yeah.
Really took a slam.
If anybody's looking into any type of like segment of the market to get into, ever since our sweet new president got into office, the whole cannabis industry,
sweet dear old man.
Yeah,
just want to pet his head.
Ever since he got into office, the cannabis industry as a whole has started to take a look at America, because anywhere from inside America companies to outside of the US companies looking at America, waiting for it to become legal, are just waiting to pounce on the market, because they know, just like any other country that's legalized it, it is going to be a money maker. I mean, you look at like Colorado, they make their money off of the taxes. And it's just one of those things where if you could put any type of dollar amount, if you have $100 in a bank, you just take a shot at one of these small companies that you think you understand and believe in, and the return is going to be insane. But that's my pitch.
Yeah,
it's that is a long shot though. That is one that you would have to ignore for a year or more without ever touching it. I mean, if you want to buy more, then that would be a thing, but that is not like a short flip, that's for sure.
Yeah. And Canada,
what do you call that? A short
flip, a short squeeze.
A short squeeze. Yeah, I don't know.
Short flip.
Short flip. You knew what I meant. I don't like that stock lingo. It's too systemy.
Too gentlemanly. But Canada's economy is like on the rise. Their population is on the rise. These if you look into these cannabis businesses, you'll see that they're starting to spread out a little bit and make some partnerships and make some deals.
Oh yeah.
And there's these arguments like the people that saying, "Oh, don't invest in cannabis." Well, because it doesn't have the brand power. They're like, it's not Coca-Cola.
I don't know if they've understood it has it's had the brand power forever. It just hasn't been legal.
Yeah, but I mean, can you fucking imagine, dude, if all of a sudden it's lifted,
if
and
it became
no longer
legal,
federally illegal?
This is
Boom,
what I
would.
You're
in that market.
I would say this right now, and I'll put this on record. The day it becomes legal, I would say within a month or two, we could probably sit down on those podcasts and say we made a couple million. I'm almost promising.
Say, look back to February 11th. Is that what today is?
Yep.
February 11th, 2021. You heard it here first, folks.
This is going to be that one random video that somebody can look back and like, nobody was paying attention to these guys.
The pendulum is swinging that way. I mean, look at the states. Legalizing it recreationally, legalizing it medically. And every year it's more and more of them.
I do want to clarify that when I say we've made a couple million, Matt and I are not rich. We're talking about we're putting like a couple hundred into companies that are in their infancy and are projected to do good things, and the legalization of marijuana would change like the face of like companies that are starting out, because all of a sudden they go from like having to do the deals outside of the US, like or like strictly like medical stuff, to if the doors were open and federally it was just like, okay, let's just do this. Let's say Biden comes out and says this is what we're going to do. We're going to do a 5-year lease, so to say, of legalization, and we'll see how it goes.
Right.
And if we really feel like we need to turn back the time, then we'll close the doors at 5 years. I just think that the economy as a whole, obviously, if the money's going to be manipulated regardless, but just the amount of money like the governments would make off of taxing that type of stuff. Like,
yeah.
what are you gonna like? Wasn't it Colorado like didn't even know what to do with the money because they were getting that much?
I would believe that. Yeah.
They were investing in things that states should because they had the money to.
Right.
Like that's just like a mind-blowing idea.
Got to get over the hurdle that this is the devil's lettuce.
Well,
I mean,
it is, but
what I will say,
you want to know why it's called the devil's lettuce is because you question things, and ain't no structure.
You question things when you're on the pot.
Yeah, and there's no structure of organized civilization that wants you questioning everything.
Oh, not at all.
You want to know why? Because they lose control.
Yeah. Yeah, it's what, when it all collectively band together.
That means you got the demons in you. It's the devil's lettuce.
Yep. Well, pretty soon it's not going to be a problem anymore. The day it gets legalized will be a good day for you and I, and for everybody.
That's why I say
if you're invested.
Crypto, specifically Bitcoin, because that's the daddy right now. If you can put anything into that, I'm talking like if you get a paycheck, put $10 a week into it or something. Just put something into it.
Do a little for the Doge coins. Help the
I don't know
Doge
that that's
out.
going to go anywhere.
Is the Doge, do you think, just going to be like the penny of the of the crypto whatever?
Unless it gets some type of crazy backing.
That's the thing with the internet, though. Everyone can just be like, hey, everyone just put it into crypto.
Yeah.
Or some company will just be like, all right, now Dogecoin, we're going to invest in that. And then everyone just jumps into it.
I don't know that many companies are going to jump
It's at decimal points right now.
Yeah.
0.008 or whatever.
Yeah. The thing about Doge is like so it's been around as a joke.
That's the thing.
It's literally, it was created as a joke to... Yeah, but the issue is you also can't get the internet as a whole to back anything correctly. That's why this whole like GameStop thing blew people's minds, because it was a chunk, like literally a chunk of people. We're talking about millions at a Reddit thread that said, we're going to do this one thing together. And they did it.
Could happen again.
It could.
The Doge.
It could. I don't know that Doge is... I don't know that Doge is going to do like what GameStop did. I think you could get some fluctuation in it because we've seen it. It went up like 13, or I don't remember. I'm not going to say the percentage, but it went up some ridiculous percent the other day just because Elon Musk said something. And then just the other day again, he like hopped on Twitter and said just like Dogecoin. Like that was his tweet, just to like, fluff it. And it does. It squeezes.
Well, how long has cryptocurrency been around? When did that start creeping in?
Let me look it up.
Because my thing is like, if cryptocurrency is in its infancy right now, we know that, but it's going to become... cryptocurrency is going to become words that are said by everybody everywhere in 5, 10, whatever years time.
It was first outlined in a 2008 paper published by Satoshi Nakamoto, and that is a pseudonym person or what is that? Pseudonymous group person or group. In early 2009, Nakamoto released Bitcoin to the public.
So I'm just saying,
when we graduated high school, it was a thing.
When cryptocurrency becomes a thing that's known by everyone everywhere, there's gonna be more investment in it.
Yeah.
Not everybody even knows about it yet.
I just don't know.
And companies it's not being taken seriously yet by everybody.
Well,
but now
it's starting to be.
Yeah, but it's just
we're
starting
just
to
starting
be.
in this
that
world
just
of,
fucking happened. So maybe now
another reason why I bring this up is I just read another article that there is a company that there was another company that just put, I don't know if they invested 1 point something million in it or not, but it was another like big push for like legitimacy. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I'll have to find that.
For cryptocurrency?
For Bitcoin specifically.
Hmm.
The reason why I'm a little off with Doge, and not that it can't make money, because like I told you, my brother made money off of it, but I think that because it is like everybody's calling them meme stocks, just because it originates from the internet as a push, but I think that will be like very incremental. It won't be like these giant fluctuations where it's like hopping from, half a penny to like 20 cents. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that's going to be one of those that you have to sit there and watch and really like, I'm selling, I'm buying, I'm selling, I'm buying to make.
Mm-hmm.
And I could be wrong. I mean, like I said before, I'm not some expert on this. I just think there's enough other more legitimate cryptocurrencies that would take the place for Doge. I mean, you don't even hit Doge before you get through like Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, Litecoin, and then there's like a plethora of other ones, and then like Doge is like way at the bottom. The only reason why Doge is in anybody's mouth is because it became like that Reddit. It got like on the back of the GameStop. And that's the only reason why people are talking about it.
Yeah, but if someone says start naming cryptocurrencies, the only two I could have said a minute ago was Bitcoin and Dogecoin.
I mean, there's like hundreds of big cryptocurrencies now.
Right.
But there's but
Doge is at like the bottom, 10. Right?
Yeah. Well,
so that makes it more popular because everyone knows what it is.
What?
Because Dogecoin is the cheapest, right?
I wouldn't say it. Not probably out of all of them, probably not. But
oh, okay. I thought it was like the lowest of the low.
No, probably not. I mean, I could look up some crypto.
Because I was just saying, like, if it was the lowest of the low, wouldn't that make it popular? And then all of a sudden there'd be like a big push for like, hey, let's take the thing that's the least popular and make it the most popular.
I mean, maybe.
Because
there
it's
are 4,000 cryptocurrencies right now.
Jesus. I had no idea it was that many.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of like once this Satoshi, what was it, Nakamoto, like when this they don't even know if he's a real person. They just know that he is either a person or like a group of people. They have no idea who this guy is. No one's ever met him. At one point there was a guy, I think in Japan, had the same name, and they like people were like, that's the guy who created Bitcoin, and like people like swarmed him trying to get like interviews and stuff. This guy had no idea what anybody was talking about because it wasn't him. It was just happened to be a guy with that name, but no one's ever seen him ever. It's just like the mysterious floating head that created Bitcoin, and now it's like a thing. I think that's what's so cool about Bitcoin, and that's why that's one of the major factors in like the first cryptocurrencies. Like with Bitcoin and stuff, people didn't love the idea of just this like mysterious money thing coming out of nowhere.
Yeah. This internet money.
Right. Keep talking about it. I'm gonna see where Dogecoin falls on the list.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what to recommend if like you're making a portfolio or whatever the fuck. with investing, how much to put in cryptocurrency versus how much to put in stocks or other ETFs or assets or whatever. Like that's for you to do your homework, but we are really into the crypto. We're really into the Wade stocks because they've taken us for quite a ride this week. But
I don't. That's not going to give me what I want. But anyway, oh gosh, sorry.
I'm just the point, and the point I'm making is because it's a joke. Dogecoin is known as like a joke. You say something Dogecoin to somebody, and they like chuckle about it and have something to say about it.
I mean, when my brother started telling me that he made money, I couldn't stop smiling about it because I think it's just like the most purest form of like the power of the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Like this literally a coin that was made to make fun of like other cryptocurrencies. Like you shouldn't be able to make money from that, but you can.
Right.
Like it's what? Like rewind 20 years ago. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And if everyone else is sitting around saying the same thing, one day there might just be like a big push for,
right.
All right, let's all get rich off this at the same time.
Right. And like
Ba-boom.
I said, like I don't claim to understand the whole Dogecoin specifically, and how it'll end up in the future. I just don't I just don't see it like skyrocketing like Bitcoin did. Maybe one day, like we talked about before, maybe one day the dollar goes away and like gold isn't a factor anymore, and like it is just online currency, which is then therefore cryptocurrency. And then sure, maybe Bitcoin or Doge is like, the sense of the.
I can see it already, like in the news being announced, like by 2035, you must
Who is this speaking?
Whoever.
Some old lady. By 2035, Nancy Pelosi finally gets presidency. By 2035.
Oh, Jesus.
Keep going.
Yeah, that'd be wonderful, wouldn't it? By 2035, all of physical currency will be transformed into cryptocurrency. So it's going to be over the course of the next 15 years, a transition process. And you can begin now, or 10 years, I don't know. But it's going to be this big thing.
Oh yeah.
It's going to be announced in the news one day that that's what's fucking happening, yo.
Oh, yeah. I believe it.
How is it? Answer me this. How the fuck would it not go that way? I mean, either the future we get hit with an asteroid, or a nuke blows us all up, or aliens attack us, or AI attacks us, or zombies attack us.
I would say how it doesn't
and
happen
ends us all. It's going to go in that direction.
You have like a big push from.
We're not going to go back to cash.
No, conservative people saying like, I don't want that because
because it's an endless fucking Leave It to Beaver trip that they're on.
Well, no, because it's like when you get away from cash, you have this like idea in your head that like everything can't be the same. Like when all of a sudden, it's like I think the last podcast, it's like when you get rid of like the physical like money thing in your hand, it's like what people like in a dumbed down version, what people really don't understand is the money that gets direct deposited into your bank account is not physical. It's literally numbers on a screen.
Yeah, and we're moving away from it.
It only ever becomes physical if you go to the bank and ask them for cash.
It's becoming obsolete. You don't we don't have the milkman come by and drop off milk anymore.
I mean,
that it should go back to that now. Actually,
I have cash.
That would be
so little.
I could use
that I stopped using the wallet my wife got me for my birthday one year because I don't need a normal wallet anymore. I don't need space for cash. I need space for cards, and that's it. And like some business cards or whatnot. I mean, you kind of have the same wallet I do, It's like I don't
Yeah.
want a big wallet because I don't need it anymore. Before, like, when I was younger, yeah, I'd keep cash in there.
Oh,
But even when I was younger, I wouldn't keep a lot of cash because it was just it's time consuming to do anything with
Yeah.
cash nowadays.
it's gonna be one of those things you talk to your kids about, like, oh yeah, we used to have this thing called the
A
dollar bill.
yeah.
This fucking paper you
Yeah.
carry. What money was paper?
Yeah.
That's so primitive.
Yeah.
What? I have this little device in my wrist,
Yep.
and I push this, or I just touch my wrist right here, or I make this motion with it, or whatever. I tell it to, and this hologram pops up, and there's my currency.
Yeah.
There's my cryptocurrency, and I want to buy something with this. I touch it on the screen here, or I scan it here on the.
And I mean, we're like,
that's what it's gonna be. That's where it's going.
3 or 4
Wake
tenths of the way to what you just described already. I mean, an Apple Watch or a smartwatch in any capacity, you can literally walk up to the machine where you stick your card in, and as long as it has an NFC reader, you can put your watch up to it. Your watch will be like, oh, is this okay with you to make this purchase? Yup. It's over. You never saw cash. You never saw physical money. That's all ones and zeros in the in the mysterious cloud of the interwebs. And that's all cryptocurrency basically basically replacing the possibility of cash with cryptocurrency is like, to me, it's like a no-brainer. It just doesn't, it's simple. To me,
it's just the way the world's going.
Right.
It's right in line with how the future, if you envision the future, that's like how it'll be.
Right.
That's
and I mean, I can't tell you how many things
this cash business
I literally I literally buy 99.9% of everything, never seeing physical money ever. That's where I'm at in life. So if one day they were like, all cash has to be, Bitcoin, or like, maybe they'll the US would come up with some stupid name, like the US internet dollar or something stupid.
The internet dollar, the ID.
Yeah. We're gonna change all dollar bills to IDs.
All these racist presidents on all these dollar bills. It's another reason to get rid of them.
I don't want to start like a race conversation, but I got actually pretty upset today.
It's just another excuse.
Because I saw the first like rendering of the Aunt Jemima syrup bottle with what is called like the paper milling company now. So they took Aunt Jemima off. It's not called Aunt Jemima anymore. It's called like the paper milling company syrup. And then on the bottom, it has like this little tag that says, tastes just like Aunt Jemima.
So it's still Aunt Jemima?
It's the same syrup, but they took her image off of it because it was racist. Same with Uncle Ben. They want to take his picture. I don't. Okay.
Aunt Jemima and Uncle Ben look happy.
Yeah. Okay. So, and I'm very serious about this because I've seen people do stupid comments on Facebook like, of course you wouldn't understand because you're just some white person. No, like if you are a African American woman or man, please comment, message us, explain how a black woman growing up in America that had a dream to basically have her own company and then made that dream come true and put her own face on her own product is racist. I just want to understand. Like I really, really do. I want to be able to say, okay, I get it now, because I don't understand it at all.
Yeah.
I don't at all.
That's what the comment section is for.
And maybe that makes me racist, but here's the thing. I'm saying
educate us.
Yeah, I'm saying right now that I want to be taught. I don't want to say my way's correct. I just want to be taught why it is and why I would be racist for thinking that her face should still be on it, or Uncle Ben's face. That, like, I have legit memories of sitting at like the breakfast table, like looking at Aunt Jemima thinking like, thank you for this syrup because this is the best thing in the world. Like I literally have, like, there was nothing of race crossed my mind. It was just like, this lady on the bottle gave me the best thing ever. Sugar. Like that's what I thought.
Sugar.
And now growing up, 2020 hits and it's like the pandemic happens and no one else has anything good to do. So what are we gonna do? Pick on anything and everything we can that has to do with race. And who gets harmed for it? No one. Nothing changes. The companies that are racist aren't not racist anymore. You're just taking black imagery off of things.
Right.
Isn't that the opposite of what we're trying to do? If I mean, turn on YouTube. What do they plaster you with? Black History Month, black creators, black content. But that's okay. Everybody's okay with that. But when you walk into the grocery store, your syrup and rice can't have black people in it.
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
I noticed during the Super Bowl, there were commercials that you could see they went out of their way to make sure that there was no white males in the commercial.
Yeah.
It was everything else.
I'm
But
okay
like,
with it as long as like if the story lends itself to it. I don't
but
mind that.
you could tell by watching this commercial that any white male resumes that came across the desk to do that ad were just thrown into the trash can.
Right.
It's not saying that, oh, you can't have a black person in a football ad.
Right.
Like, whoever would think that that's what I mean by bringing this
Yeah.
up, it's like,
And-
you're not thinking very
Right.
hard.
And like I said, please, I would love to like Skype someone that has like a
The-
degree or like
The point is,
some
there's
type
like,
of knowledge into this.
it's like, but like, there's people out there that believe that based on your skin color and your gender, that your hierarchy, that
Right.
you're lower in the hierarchy of your opinion
Right.
bearing any kind of weight.
Right.
Like, it shouldn't, you shouldn't even have a voice in the conversation because you just can't possibly.
You were born as a mistake.
Yeah, you don't. So like, there's people that automatically just believe from the get go. Like, they don't even want to listen to you. They want to
Right.
just shut you out.
Right. And my thing, like my stance with it is like, I know that I'm nothing special. I didn't have the choice to be born, white, African American, or American, Indian, Native American, Asian. I didn't have that choice.
None of us.
I was born Caucasian, so I don't think that I'm special in any way. Was I raised with certain biases? Yeah, 100%. But I am here to say that I would love to talk to anybody as long as they would be willing to have an actual conversation. If somebody wanted to come on here or talk to me or message us or, Skype us, let's have like, a whole like interview type thing. I would love that because the more open conversation you have, the more actual understanding that can be brought to the table. And less of like, you're wrong because you're white.
It's
No,
gotta be
you're wrong because you're black.
Stop drawing these lines in the
Right.
sand and dividing each other into groups and
Yeah.
marginalizing people. That's what the whole argument has been about, right?
Right.
It's stop, like, black people don't want to feel like they're marginalized. Other
Right.
minorities don't want to feel like they're marginalized. So why are there these small groups of people
Right.
that are doing the
right,
marginalizing?
drawing hard lines in the sand saying you can't cross.
Yeah, like, so they're like, oh well, the pendulum has to swing the other way, and the white man has to suffer for
For what?
200 years or whatever.
It's all bullshit.
When is it going to end? And if
Yeah.
you zoom out, look at the
Right.
not just the history of the United States, zoom out and look all throughout time, all over the world, people of all colors and all races and all
Every
nations
race and every
enslaving
color
others.
has been enslaved at one point.
Guess
every
what?
single one.
People are assholes.
Right.
People treat each other like
Asians
shit, and they
enslaved
love boxing
themselves.
themselves in based on their skin color or their religion or their
Right.
heritage. People get a boner on their pride because they
Right.
don't have any fucking real achievements of themselves. So it's like, well, look at my skin color. I'll take pride in that.
Right.
Good for you. You were born that way.
Right.
It's not even a fucking real. It's not even a character trait.
Right.
It's your skin pigmentation.
It's the argument like of
I don't get this.
people-
Why are we still hung up on this?
Right. It's also kind of like the argument of like country pride. Like some people don't understand how that can be a thing. And it literally breaks down to being able to put yourself in another box of like, this is my country, so I'm proud of it, and your country is bullshit because it's not my country. And it's like, sure. I mean, let's just keep drawing lines in the sand and putting boxes everywhere for people to jump in. And guess what? The people in power have ultimate control.
Yeah, it's like if you want to give yourself a fucking pat on the back over something, like if you're on a sports team and your team wins the game because you are a good team,
Right.
like you can all be proud of that. If you create something and you're able to sell it and that other person like is happy with their product, like you can be proud of that.
Yeah.
But or if you reach some kind of status in like a company that you're happy to work for, or you achieve your goals or accomplish something, you can be proud of those things or
Right.
good things you do for other people. But to just be look at what color your skin pigmentation is and be like, I'm a good person because my skin is this color. Good for
And
you.
yeah,
What have you done?
and this goes for
What are
every
your
every
achievements?
type of race too. I would never ever entertain giving someone business so that was like, I am this color, so I deserve this. What? Get out of here. No, you put hard work into it, that's why you deserve it. You know? It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
The whole idea is ridiculous behind it, all of it. It's just
Right.
And I said I didn't want a race conversation, but here we go.
Well, here we go anyway. I mean, at the end of the day, you can either complicate this world more, or you can realize that everyone has their. At the end of the day, everyone is responsible for themselves,
Right.
and it's their own cross to bear. Everyone has to
Yeah.
bear their own cross. Like someone else shouldn't be doing it for you,
Right.
and especially not for reasons based on what country you're born in or what
Right.
your skin color happens to be or any of that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because-
I feel like a broken record, but like it's we're all one race. We're the
Well,
human race.
and yeah, and here's my thing. I think every single person, if they had the choice to pick where they were born, skin color, hair color, eye color, I think everybody would end up and look pretty perfect. And I think most people would not pick the same exact thing that they have now, because there's always adjustments that you would make. So like the idea that like someone should be looked upon differently because they were just born into that situation, it's just like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
I
it
hope I
just
hope
it's
we can get past it.
mind-boggling
I
to me.
really hope we can get past it. And I think people are starving for like just fucking common sense and conversation.
Right.
And I'm just hoping that this will all be looked back on one day. It's just like, why were we so stupid over this?
Yeah. I think there will be to some extent. Well, I hope there will be to some extent, but I don't think it'll become soon enough.
Do you agree with equal opportunity but not equal outcome?
I knew you were going to bring this up because we've had this conversation before.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Oh, but now it's on the podcast.
what do you think? I'm going to change my mind?
Maybe mine's change
No,
on some things.
I think what's the saying? Equal opportunity, equal outcome.
Equal opportunity, but not equal outcome necessarily.
So here's how I say it. I do believe in the United States there's equal opportunity for every single person.
Mm-hmm.
Not every single person is born into the correct situation to take advantage of that 100%. But there is the same opportunity to make a difference in a life. So this goes for, I think, every race. I think this goes for every social structure, so to say, whether it be financially, popularity, whatever. Um, you know, I think that every single person has the ability to make the choices to be better and pull themselves out of situations.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some of those situations will be and are a lot tougher than others, sure. And if not to make it a straight up race thing, but your question is based on basically like, does like a white person have a better chance in America than a black person does? And I would say the popular opinion would be yes. I would say that both of those children or persons have the same opportunities. It's what choices do they make um, to get them out of those situations. That's where the real like proving ground is. Because if I'm completely honest, I've seen more white people that are really shitty and in shitty situations and never pull themselves out than uh, black people. I've known a lot of black people that have told me stories where it's like, yeah, this is where I grew up, but here I am now.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't heard that a lot from white people. So, like, the idea that like black people are just like in this like downward spiral, I think is another line in the sand that like some statistic has drawn for whatever purpose to keep them there. I think black people and white people are the same fucking people because we're human beings,
Mm-hmm.
right? And human beings as a species, and species have different variations of the same creature, which is the human race. We are not different. The human species is very strong, very strong. We have been known to do very crazy things for what seems to be nonsensical reasons. Saving other people's lives, going to war, just name it all. So, do I think a human being has the same opportunity as another human being does? Yes. Do I think they have the same chance? Yes. I do.
When you say when you say every human being has a chance for opportunity, um, do you believe some openings are bigger than others?
I think that's why I said at the beginning, I think some people were given a better shot. Yes, I do. Because obviously, if you were born rich, regardless of race, you're going to have a better shot than somebody who wasn't born rich, regardless of race. That has nothing to do with race at all.
Right.
So, yeah, of course.
I kind of look at it like a poker game. Like people often say, like you're dealt a bad hand,
Right.
but I mean, life is not just one hand; it's being dealt
Exactly.
hands over and over and over again. And some people are given like the fucking 2-7 off suit right from the start, and they lose a lot of chips.
Right. So one of the best like memes I saw that kind of I was like, okay, that's probably the most sensical like meme about this. But once again, the meme split it up into race, and I don't think that has much. I I think people love to narrow it down to like that's the reason. But
Because
that
there's
has nothing
people
to do
out
with
there
it, I
that want
think.
to take the opportunity of cashing in on the victimhood, victim culture.
But the meme was it was like this white kid, um, or it was like giant sets of stairs, right? And like to get to the next stair, it was like this kid's probably like this tall compared to where the stairs is, like kind of full grown kid.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a black boy, and he's like jumping up trying to reach, can't get up it. And then like two stairs above him, same height step, there's this white kid, but he has literal stacks of money in little steps, so he can literally just walk up to the next step. And that's probably the best like visual representation of like how I understand it. But I do disagree with the race thing, because once again you're narrowing it down to like just white people always have more money than black people. No, they don't. They don't. White people are not a superior race. White people were the race that left the dark skinned people and got white because they started living in areas with less direct sunlight. Like, how hard is that to understand for people? And somehow we're the superior race to everyone. You know what? I don't get it. I don't understand it at all. It drives me nuts.
Yeah.
But
well, people love finding ways to put themselves in groups, and skin color is the most superficial trait.
Right.
So it's easy to group yourself up
just
based on that.
So like when someone says, so yeah, to like answer the question, it's like, yes, I do believe everybody has the same opportunities. I do. Because that kid that was rich has the same opportunities as the kid that wasn't, right? But the kid that's rich might just have to work a little less to get to the door. It's the same opportunity, but the effort is definitely different. Sure. Yeah,
Right.
I do. So the opportunities and outcomes exactly the same, I think. The effort that needs to be put into it to get there completely different. Because if you and once again, it has nothing to do with race. If you were dealt a better hand financially, obviously you're going to get a better outcome. I mean, just think about it like this. If you grew up, like, in a sense, neither of us ever had to worry about money growing up, in a sense. But like, if you grew up with like life-changing amounts of money, like your parents were ungodly rich, like that's the life you knew. You never had to do anything. Like, you graduated high school, you could go to college, but you didn't have to. You know, you were given a car and it's, an Audi or something stupid, and you knew in the back of your head you never had to work a day in your life, but you could do whatever you want. Your effort to live would have to be so little compared to someone that had to, like, I have to make it every day to survive.
Right.
But the opportunities, I think, in a general sense, are the same, and the outcomes can be the same. It's just the effort is completely different. Now, on why I say generally the same is that rich kid is going to have some crazy opportunities that this the littler guy isn't going to have, just because his dad knows people. It's like one of those type of things.
Right.
But if the kid, maybe this kid has just pure talent in something, well, the opportunity given to this rich kid could be the same opportunity given to this kid with pure talent. That's why I said he's just going to have to he's just going to know what the struggle to get to the end is. That's what it really comes down to.
Right.
And the kid that has that financial stepping stones doesn't have to worry about the struggle because his dad paved the way. But which brings up another good point. At some point, if you go back into rich people's history, at some point there was one that struggled and changed the course of the family. So to some extent, everybody that has money knows what struggle is somewhere in the line. It's just people love to pinpoint 8 generations later saying like, oh, they have so much money. No, 8 generations ago, his grandfather struggled just like you are now. Are you going to make the decision to push yourself until you make it like he did?
Right.
Or not? Like, that's, and I know I'm saying this like everybody can make billions, but it's not going to happen for everybody. It's not going to happen probably for me. I'm not going to make billions of dollars. Would I like to make millions? Hell yeah.
Stay in sundial, you might.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? So in that sense, it's like, I think everybody has the ability to make it. And whether anybody loves to hear this or not, we are in the one country that lends itself to having people make it.
Mhm.
We are in the freest country in the world, right? And I know everybody loves to beat up America for everything, but it's like the only reason you do that is because you fucking free.
People that do that probably never left America.
Right. Yeah, seriously though. Yeah, got me all riled up now.
Well, I mean, that was very well spoken.
Yeah,
Walk down the trail.
I just think, yeah. I mean, I just think, like, and this is not like a pity party on me, but like, I just like thinking about like where I came from, like growing up. My parents never had like a lot of money. The only reason why we had like the farm was because my dad's dad had the farm. He bought the farm. He worked the farm. He had an orange grove in Florida that he sold. And like that's where the little bit of money came from, because it's like that generational thing where, like, my grandfather bought a ton of land because it was cheap back in the day, and built houses, sold the houses on the outskirts of the land, built a house for himself, uh, farmed the land, and that's how they made their money. It's not like it was an out of the normal living or out of the ordinary like way to do things. but it also lent itself to like not having a lot of money towards the end.
Right.
So it's not like we were rich, but we were always taken care of. And there are people that are in way worse situations than that that make it. So it's like one of those things where it's like I was taken care of completely. And I think there are kids that aren't taken care of completely. But I also think, I think this is what it comes down to. I don't think there's a kid on this earth that wasn't given at least one chance to change, make like one decision that would have adjusted his or her future. I don't think there's one kid that didn't have any like of that one moment where it's like, what path am I going to choose? I think every kid at least has one of those moments,
Right.
if not hundreds, throughout their life. And every single time you make a decision in those like shifting life moments, you solidify some things.
Yeah.
Right. So that's where like it comes back to like, I think everybody has generally the same type of opportunities.
Yeah.
It's just how far are you going to push yourself to be better? And I would say a lot of people, do not push.
Right.
What they do, and this is a lot of like political or religious or et cetera, regular war.
Instead of taking the opportunity, they pick up a picket sign,
right,
and complain about how unfair it is.
Yeah, and what they do is they say, "What I've learned is enough. I am going to stop learning things, and this is where I stand." And like that is the moment I think you're just wrong. You're completely wrong. That has to do with like I said, political, religious. I just think if you say like this is it, and you do this thing where you're like closing your eyes and you're like, I'm not seeing anything else, I'm not hearing, I'm not saying, because what I know is what I know, and that's right. It's just, I think you're wrong.
Yeah.
Not that I'm 100% right, but I can tell you this much. I think you live a much better life continuing to learn and learn than you do sticking to your guns, or like you said, picking up a picket sign and saying like, this is why you're wrong, faggot.
Right.
Like, it's just like, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I say faggot, I'm don't mean anything bad by that, but as an example.
Oh, now we're on the radar.
Well,
Popularity's up.
My brother's gay and I love him to death. So,
but like a person that is born with nothing and they have a rags to riches story,
right,
at the end of that person's life, wouldn't they feel so much more fulfillment and happiness coming from a life of nothing and achieving and the luxury they live in? They have it because they earned it, rather than the person that's born with a silver spoon up their ass.
I mean, you would assume so. I mean, that's case by case, because there are really good people that are rich and do really good things with that money.
Yeah.
So it's not like just because you're rich, you're an asshole.
Right, exactly.
But the rule of thumb is the pendulum swings a certain way for a reason, type of a thing.
Yeah, like we said, there's assholes all across the spectrum. People are assholes.
I mean, you could have a bum that's an asshole because you didn't give him the money that he wanted to.
Tried to bite you.
Yeah. Try to bite you. Ha. Yeah. I mean, that's why I just think when you look at like people in general from like a very broad like spectrum, whatever category you want to like look at them in, at the low side, you have the same type of people in a certain like, let's say like the low side, okay, 1 to 100 is this. The mids is like 1 to 100 is this, and then the highs are 1 to 100. In every section, you have the same type of person. They're just at a different level of, like the stature, so to say, because you have like the low income families, and then you have like middle America and high America. I can tell you on the high end of every single one of those, it's the same guy. It's the same woman that thinks they've made it, that thinks that they're hot shit because they can tell other people what to do now. It's the same people. There's no difference in it. But I think that's also the beauty in it because that's what gives everybody a little bit of a chance.
Right.
But like I said, it's kind of like your decision making,
Right.
and I don't it you know, I want to be like gentle with saying like everybody can do it because like there are people that go through some like very hefty depression and end up in a corner and don't know how to pull themselves out.
Right.
But
They should be hearing the like encouragement
Right.
and that there are chances and there will be
Right.
opportunities, and when they present themselves, to take them. Like
Right.
we haven't lived everyone's life,
Right.
but we would rather people take the opportunities when they come around
Right.
rather than trying to live in this pool of like, I'm a victim, come on in here where it's warm and you can just get everything for free without
come
working
into the
hard.
hot tub.
Because like, what kind of world is that going to create? What kind of
Right.
precedent is that kind of attitude going to set where you
Right.
don't have to work hard to achieve things and obtain things and make a better life for yourself and your lineage, if that means anything to you?
Right.
I mean, isn't that a better thing to preach than, hey, let's just keep dividing ourselves into groups and finding ways to
Right.
victim shame and victim blame
Yeah,
and
and to keep
cast
pushing
judgment and
pushing each other away.
you have white
Yeah.
skin, I have it never ends. That's a
Yeah.
self-perpetuating,
It's just
never
it's
ending thing, and
Yeah.
people get hurt and people get killed over it.
yeah.
And for what? For nothing.
It's a belief. That's all it is.
Yeah,
And that's why a belief is like the most
it's
powerful
such a
thing.
stupid thing to hate somebody
Yeah.
else over, or kill someone else over, or think less of them over. And there are people that are like that, sure, on all, I don't even want to call them, I almost said sides, but like, what, people of all,
Yeah.
whatever.
No, what you said was true though. I mean it is. It's like there's always sides to everything. I don't think we can I would love to say in 10 years there will be no lines in the sand and everybody will just accept people.
Yeah.
I don't think. I just know, like when I say that out loud, like my soul is just like, you're wrong.
I think we're gonna move on to other things.
Yeah. I just think
once
as a race,
robots come out,
we have some type of undying want to have this like idea of like my version of a human is better than yours. Which I think like deep down everybody has a little bit of, and that's where like competitive nature comes in and all that kind of stuff. But just like how it spreads into area, like a good competitive nature I don't think is bad, because that like echoes back to like probably caveman days where it's like, if I'm the one going out to get the food, I'm going to beat that guy over there getting out of his cave because I'm hungry and I need to feed my family. So like there is that good like healthy competitiveness there. But the point where it then leaks into like other stuff that is just like, what are you being competitive about now? Like what's the point of this? It's not a basketball or a football or a soccer or hockey game or whatever sport you want to choose. It's like, so we're not playing a game anymore. We're just trying to play life, and you want to tell me my skin is wrong.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, it's just wrong.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just, I don't get it. I really don't. I've probably spent like the last couple years like trying to get it. Like I want to understand where people come from, and I don't get it. The only thing that I can understand is at some point someone said something, and then that thing just got passed down generation to generation. That's it. That's all it is. People don't know why. They just know they're awful.
I wish skin color was looked at like hair color.
Yeah.
Like it just doesn't matter. Who cares what color your hair is?
Right. And then every hair color has its own, coolness factors or whatever, whatever you want to call.
Yeah.
I mean, if I literally could pick how I was born, do you know what I would probably pick? Like if I could pick a race of people, do you know what I would pick?
Asian.
No, probably Native American. I just think they look cool. Like jet black hair, tanned brown skin, It's just like cool looking.
Hmm.
I don't know. I don't know why. They always have, like all the guys have like long hair. I don't know. I've always
like
just been
such
like
perfect hair.
attracted. Yeah, I've always just been like attracted to like that look.
Yeah.
And when myself, Andrew, and Emily were born, my aunt told my mom for all three of us we looked like Indian babies because we came out with red skin and jet black hair.
Ooh.
And I wish
Maybe you got a little bit of that in
I
you.
don't,
You
because
sure?
yes, because my brother got a test and we're from
It's sponsored to you by Ancestry.com.
we're from the Europes and only the Europes. We are from that stupid circle of
The hair.
Europe, Scotland, Ireland, just like that little circle there.
Throw a dart.
Yeah. For real. It was like 99.9% there. And then it was like less than 0.01% anything else. Really? Seriously? That's it? That's
What a
all we
shame.
got?
Yeah.
But yeah, I just don't know. So I'm someone, and this is where my mind starts to get really boggled, I think. I am someone that loves uniqueness, and I hate the idea of things being like very sterile and the same. So the idea like there's a superior race just like disgusts me because I don't understand it. Like, why would you want something that is the same or like generic or anything like that? Like,
Yeah.
you literally stop the growth of things like that. Like,
Right.
if there isn't innovation or uniqueness in things, then it just stops.
Yeah.
Ugh, I don't know.
I mean, if we're all like, if you're in a video game and there's a bunch of like, you get to pick your avatar and choose your like color. You can be purple or green or blue.
You know what I always pick?
Like, would anyone give a fuck?
I
No.
always pick like white hair if I can get like crazy green or blue eyes, and it's usually like gray skin to match like the white hair or like a brownish skin.
Like,
Just because the contrast is so crazy.
like a White Walker.
Yeah, kind of. I just love like the oddness of it.
Yeah.
That's what I love.
Yeah. I usually just make my characters look like me.
So dumb. You have the choice to be unique and you're like, yep, me again.
Because I don't know how else to make them. Like, I will
Not like
sit
you.
I will sit on a character like creator.
Just do
screen
everything you
forever.
wouldn't normally ever do on your person, like on your actual body.
Well, like Mass Effect,
Yeah.
I played through one time with a guy that looked like me, and then I played through one time where I made his face just look distorted as possible.
Yeah.
Like he just came out of the womb looking like he got punched in the face.
So you're either you or a zombie, man.
His face was all like this.
Yeah.
So, and then when in cutscenes,
Can you do that again?
I made his face in the character select screen like this. And then in cutscenes in the game, when he would actually get angry, and his face already was like that. When he would get angry, it was like,
like so it like pushed his like whole brow and everything.
like his
further
brows
down, yeah.
went like through the bottom of his eye sockets, and his lips were like way past his nose. Like,
Right.
it just looked like the grumpiest old man or something.
Right.
With like a prune face.
Yeah. I don't know. I just like the uniqueness in the world. It's like, can you imagine? I mean, it's just like to get off of like specifically skin color, but like, can you imagine like flying to like another country and everything's just the same like it is back home? Like the culture's the same.
Yeah, it would suck.
The atmosphere's the same. The architecture's the same. Like, what would be the point in that?
Right. It's the spice of life. Everything's different.
I mean, if I flew to like Italy and I just like walked through the streets and like everything looked like home, I would be severely disappointed.
Or what if we get to Mars and there was just some dude sitting on a lawn chair that looked like us? Like, hey guys,
he's just like, oh, you're finally
like,
here.
I'm a Martian. It's like, oh, this is disappointing.
Damn it.
Yeah, it's like seeing a rerun of your favorite show instead of the next episode.
It's actually Elon. He's been up there this whole time.
Yeah, yeah. There's actually many Elons. He cloned himself.
Clone
that's how he gets so much work done. He just clones himself
I
and works
would
on multiple
not be
things
that
at the same
surprised.
time. Me neither. They're
To be
all out there
honest.
buying cryptocurrency, pleading the case.
All of them at the
Yeah,
same time.
all tweeting at the same time and buying into it at the same time.
They have like Elon Musk accounts with like their trading stuff, and it's like Elon 1, Elon 2, Elon 3.
Right now, he's watching this podcast and he's like, oh, I've been had.
Damn it.
They got me.
Well,
Advocate for Doge.
Elon, if you
again.
If you text in the chat now, we'll take this down right away, but we need like 400,000 Bitcoin. Just send it our way.
Thank you. We'll spend it well.
But
we're entrepreneurs too. We're kindred
not
spirits.
as successful as you, but man,
yeah, I mean, we don't have as many gears turning all at the same time or anything like that, but shit, we try hard.
we try real hard.
Yeah. Look, with all the money we made, we even bought this like thing that has these spinny dials on it and make the echo effect. Hey, 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 hey. Send us a Bitcoin, please. We're begging you.
Well, that's a pretty good place to end it, I think.
I'm really tired.
Okay, I can.
Can you
tell.
see my
Yeah.
eyes are
Let's
like.
go to your camera. Oh yeah, that was good.
That was
Don't
my
look- Don't look
attempt.
at the screen. Look at the camera.
Well, if I look at the screen, I can see myself for a moment because there's a delay. Wait, I gotta. All
do you
right,
wanna
go
try
back
it
to me.
again?
Okay.
God, that's dumb.
Oh shit. Sorry
Yeah,
if I popped.
He
your
just hit
ears.
his microphone for those you were listening. If you're listening,
It can't be done fast enough.
well. So, like always, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you're thinking. Listen to us everywhere: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Give us some feedback. Love us, hate us. We don't really care. I'm just being honest. We're gonna do this regardless, but we would
I
love.
like the way you said that.
I would love people.
I liked how it rolled off your
Yeah.
tongue.
I would love people to give us like their honest opinion, because then we're just gonna like do a podcast where we read that stuff and then address it how we really feel, and
Yeah.
and that'll be us.
Go for it. Yeah, we would love to have the conversation.
So
How are we gonna get anywhere if we don't have the conversation? Isn't that the first step?
yes,
Right? Or we could just continue to cancel each other out, not get anywhere,
Right.
and piss and moan about how much we hate our lives.
Yeah.
Or we could have the conversation.
and maybe next week we'll do a movie again. Who knows?
Who the fuck knows?
But
We'll cross that bridge when we come
it
to it.
comes as it may.
Tell us what you think. Tell us
Right.
what you want.
All right. Until next time.
And don't watch People Under the Stairs. It wasn't that good.
Him that's right.
You know, freaking tomorrow. No, what's this even? But I've had it half on your side.
You're out to your desk. You're outside.
Hey, you